Hey, collective. I hope you've been looking good, feeling good, smelling good, eating good, drinking good, thinking good thoughts, having a good time, sharing good energy with good people in good places, doing good things. All right. Mixed a couple decks up here. Let's see what's on the table. The table for today. Ooh, gets no love from the collective. Ooh, dang. I'm laughing at this because someone's are wondering like why you're not giving out any love, like why you're not, like why you've changed, why you've this, why you've that. And it's more so just like a change with respect to like mental clarity, with respect to like why you're taking such quick action. And you're not taking quick action. It's just this is news to them. Like it's news to them that you were going to defend yourself. It's news to them. Like this is all news to them. Yeah, they didn't see. Sorry, my window is open, so stuff is flying from the trees. They didn't. I don't know. They didn't see something. What they didn't see? What they didn't see about this? Ooh. Okay, there's a few things out here. Oh yeah. I don't know. I guess maybe they thought that you would like that they're like I don't know, maybe they thought that there like wasn't a deeper meaning to what they were experiencing. So these people are in the Five of Pentacles. They're in the Five of Pentacles and they're wondering like they didn't think, what I'm getting is that they didn't think that whatever they were experiencing financially, they didn't think that it had anything to do with what they were doing to you, like how they were trying to conflict you, how they were trying to stop your possibility, right? Excuse me. So before I started this, I kept thinking of IRS, CIA, and I started to just kind of like examine, look a little deeper into, if you hear my children, you hear my children. They're doing what they do, and that's what they do. But so IRS, Internal Revenue Service. Now, if we look at that name from a spiritual aspect, it means that someone's internal revenue, someone's internal wealth, right? Because we know that this is a spiritual realm, right? So their internal revenue service, the way that they've been handling their own abundance, are they aligning themselves with it? They didn't think that played a part in it. They didn't think of that. I don't know. Maybe they were just very shallow is what I just saw come out. They were very shallow. Okay. Oh, dang. They were very shallow when it came to, wow. Because I was thinking before I started this, I was like, my kids are playing games and stuff. And so they're enjoying themselves and doing that. And I was like, only kids play games, which is technically true. Like, I'm not saying that anybody that plays video games or does things for fun, but these are games in the real world as adults. It's not like you're taking a break from adult life and you're playing a game. These people are trying to play games with other people's internal revenue. Okay. And they weren't aware of how, the fact that if your internal revenue was in service to yourself, your path, your plan, that's what's led to your abundance in the way it did. Yeah. All right, what else is out here? Ooh, dang. Yeah, there's an Empress in reverse involved in this. There is someone that has been like so this person is supposed to be in an energy of creating and nurturing, and this person hasn't been doing that whatsoever. That's what's being seen. It's like this person was never creative. This person was never, unless it was aligning themselves with demonic things. But internally, they have no revenue, is what I'm saying here. It's like internally, They have no revenue. They have no. Yeah, so they're figuring out like why they don't have. Oh gosh, these cards keep falling. Oh, they're figuring out why this person keeps falling. Oh, because they keep coming for your face. They keep coming at your head. And essentially, you're not here to, destroy them or, manipulate their circumstances. You were here to like just be you, just to show them, like it can be done. And instead of, embracing that and being encouraged by that, they decided to be, evil. They decided to be evil. Yeah, now they see that you're in this energy of, the cycle where you were sent to assist them and allow them, to change and things like that, to work with them in that. They're maybe seeing that that's like what you were here for, but they're not, it's like, it's basically it's hindsight. What is this? Yeah, they are moving really into, they regret this. They regret this. Yeah. It's like they regret seeing you like this. They regret seeing you, full of life, full of joy, full of being very centered, being very honest, being very truthful. They thought that you were going to continue to, be kind about where they were, emotionally, mentally, financially. They thought that you were going to be kind and allow them to continue to do, but that's not what's played out. Yeah, especially for this in-person reverse is what I'm seeing here. Ooh, yeah. Remember, this is enduring some type of personal tower. So again, this personal tower for this person is just realizing who they actually are. This person is having a lot of trouble realizing who they actually are. Yeah, and who they actually aren't as well. It's like it's a two-way thing. That double-edged sword. Dang. Ooh, yeah. They're getting all kinds of like dreams and premonitions, and they're basically, what I'm understanding is like everything that they're seeing is what they were trying to avoid. Yeah. They understand too, or they should at least, that this is divine order. This is divine order. This isn't karma, right? Because to them, karma doesn't exist. They, that's why they felt so confident in the direction that they were going. That's why they worked so hard towards what they were, trying to do. But they didn't realize that it's alignment. So everything that they align themselves with, they're seeing this like day in and day out is what I'm hearing here. Day in and day out, they're seeing themselves aligned with the devil. And they see that they're, at a standstill in life. Ooh. Yeah. Where they had a possibility maybe previously in the past. That's the Two of Swords and the Two of Swords. They had a possibility maybe previously at some point in their lives. What I'm getting is like when they were working for themselves, when they were focused on themselves, they had a possibility to really do something. They had a possibility to really bring something in and like help others and like just be, who they really wanted to be. But somewhere along the lines, they decided to take a different journey. They decided to, again. So IRS and CIA are the two acronyms that I keep hearing. CIA is Central Intelligence Agency, right? So what I'm understanding is that these people are being audited by the IRS and the CIA, but it may be something that they didn't realize is like, maybe there's some like IRS ain't saying nothing to me. The IRS is Internal Revenue Service. The IRS is looking into like what you love. Did you love doing dark things, or did you love doing things that inspired others? What were you working at? And the CIA, Central Intelligence Agency, they are spiritually looking into these people saying, well, did they have any intelligence? Did they look for the intelligence that they needed? Did they go into their own Akashic records, you know, because I feel like some of these people were handed their Akashic records. They were handed the opportunity to, you know, press forward and do what they, you know, would have loved. But instead, they started to love the wrong things. That's why that devil energy is out here. Like they found more joy and pleasurable and working towards things that weren't. They found more pleasure in doing demonic things. So these people are like so incredibly. Wow. Yeah. So along that path, they got confused about how to use their magic. Again, I've said before, like someone who makes and decorates cakes and that just becomes their things, that's their magic. You know, someone who sews, you know, new outfits out of, you know, old recycled outfits, that's someone using their magic, you know, in the proper ways. They got confused on how to do that. They got confused on like what their own path was. Look at all this stuff around this Ace of Wands. Like on the journey, they weren't focused here. They were focused at everything around it, right? When in reality, like this is the focus on themselves, you know, protecting themselves from any evil eye, learning how to work with others. They got confused. They got confused when they got introduced to these demonic groups and energies. They got really confused. I guess they saw this as a way. But what I'm hearing is they had no intelligence. They had no intelligence. They didn't have the understanding of what that intelligence was. Yeah. They had no intelligence. They had no intelligence about what? Wow. They had no intelligence about the universe. They had no intelligence about how to complete cycles. You know, they had, again, these people never went into their own Akashic records. They had no foresight. They had no acknowledgement. And even when they did, they were too far. What I understand is like too far in the midst of focusing on the wrong things to actually focusing on the wrong things. By that point, what I'm understanding is they were already underground. Like they had already made their contracts. They had already gotten caught up in the web. They had already, you know, decided to stand here, you know, in this position with this devil energy, in this hopeless energy. Like, okay, if you don't do this, then this is going to happen. If you don't do this, like they had gotten too tied to that hopeless energy. They had aligned themselves too much with the hopeless energy. Okay, and what did that do? Like, what I'm understanding is, what I understand is it held them back from going within. It held them back from looking at, you know, hey, what can I do? Yeah, it really confused them. Because this is debauchery. They really confused them. What did it confuse them about? Dang. It confused them as they not thought that they would never have to surrender. Yeah, that was an illusion. They thought that they would never have to surrender. Okay. Ooh, to defeat. I was just about to ask what. Like, yeah, that was an illusion that they had in their heads that they would never have to surrender to defeat. Okay. And now what? Dang. And now they're not. Listen, this is the Ace of Pentacles in reverse. Okay. What I'm understanding is they went at it from all different directions, from all different ways. The surrendering to defeat is heavily weighed on the fact that they will have no money. Like Internal Revenue Service, they're not going to receive anything because they had the opportunity to go after what they wanted for themselves. But the rules of this are it's a Internal Revenue Service. It's internally for you to benefit you, you know, how to help you, you know, using your intelligence. CIA. Central means what? at the heart of you, right? At the center of you, right? It can't be central intelligence agency of someone else. It has to be, there's a level of ownership is what I'm understanding. Yeah. Because see, when they were going at you, they were going right to the center of you. But the science of this says they were supposed to go right to the center of themselves. That's why they're where they're at right now. Okay. I'll get a different deck in a second. Yeah, they had no virtue. They had, what I'm hearing is like it was a false virtue, right? If their virtue existed only in the things that they could get away with against you, then it didn't really hold anything because it had no value truly to the heart of who they were. And I say were because they aren't anymore. They went after what you valued. This failure is still out here. Oh, they're still in this toxic cycle too. Look, this circle. This circle here, they're still caught in this toxic cycle. Ugh. They're really caught in this cycle trying to find out, like, and figure out, like, they're trying to assess, like, where their reward could be. They're trying to reverse and go back in a different direction. Yeah, with respect to, like, the cruelty and stuff like that, because that's what they're experiencing now. Yeah, a lot of it for some of these people. And here's the thing, I had this download. It's like sometimes people want to be recognized as this or that and think that you're, you don't know that it's them. It's just that there's so many people. Why would we focus on a specific one? Why would we focus on, a lot of these people are nameless to you. Like they have no face, they have no name, they have no heart, they have no purpose, like in your life. So it's like, why would I be considering, like, they get mad when the energy is mixed and it's, an ex and, an ex-lover, you know what I mean? Like somebody that you actually had a relationship with versus somebody who could have had a relationship and screwed it up before they even got there. It's people who wanted to be your friends but never became your friends. It's people who, wanted to, it's a lot of like wanted to, shoulda, coulda, wouldas. Okay. What else? It's a lot of shoulda, coulda, wouldas. Yeah. Yeah. What I'm understanding too is they didn't acknowledge too that like this death and rebirth, this happened a long time ago. You became this empress and started nurturing all these things that you're manifesting. Like back when they started their cruelty is when you started your rebirth. I'm just saying, like, look, when they set off on their agenda, you set off on your agenda. The difference between the two is that your agenda was no longer to please others. Your agenda was no longer to care about what anybody else thought of you. Your agenda was no longer, there were a lot of things that it was no longer. That's all I can say. Ooh, these people don't meditate either. Maybe they procrastinate. Oh, not maybe. They definitely procrastinate with respect to like their healing. Maybe they're seeing that now. Maybe that's something they're calling. Listen, the IRS and the CIA. That's all I can tell you. The IRS and the CIA. Yeah. They didn't realize too, like meditating on themselves, because when you see a high priest or a high priestess, right? A high priest or a high priestess is focused on intuition. Now, I want to ask a question here. Can intuition be someone else's intuition? So if they were focused on your intuition, where was theirs? It was non-existent. If they were focused on your instinct, theirs was what? Non-existent. I don't know why that's so hard for them to understand. If they were focused on what you were doing in your Akashic records and what you were doing with your spiritual goals and what were you doing, in all these different places, like if they were meditating on yours, then they never would reach their own. 1919 on the clock. Maybe this is even something people have been on board with since you were 19, is trying to, remove you from that. What I'm seeing in this too is like they thought that they could attack all these different pressure points and all these places, of all of this and all of that. But again, at the end of the day, if they weren't really, focused on themselves, if they weren't really, what I'm seeing, but like using your own hands too, is like you did it on your own. You did it by yourself. You did it with your own strength, with your own power, with your own endurance, you know. They never thought that, you know. This is so unfortunate for them. Wow. That came out in reverse. I just want to be clear. So, they never looked deeper to see. They never went and focused even on the arts, is what I'm understanding. Like, listen to music, listen to binaural beats, listen to frequencies, listen to subliminals. They never did these things. Again, their vibration was strictly to do things underhanded, conniving, dark, manipulative, scheming. You know, these are a lot of people caught in these scams. Yeah. Wow. And what I'm understanding is that's why they're in poor health right now. This could be poor health financially, spiritually, emotionally. Again, when the CIA and the IRS are investigating you, it's probably important. It's probably big. It's probably, you know, and if we're talking on a spiritual level, it's probably going to tear them apart. That some of these people aren't even aware that they made themselves a victim. They're not even aware of, like, how did I get here? Well, what were you focused on? I mean, I say that a lot, and I get incredibly, like, unenthused about their attitudes. You know, that's why we're bored and unbothered by them. Yeah, they didn't create. So to create art, you would have to pick up the pen, you would have to pick up the pencil, the paintbrush, whatever, and you would have to choose a canvas and paint what you want to create. You cannot create for others. That's a part of the wisdom that they didn't have too. You keep, like, again, I already said what I said, and I meant what I said right now. You know, if they can't cultivate anything, if they can't grow anything, if they can't create anything, it's probably because they use so much of their sacral chakra energy to, what I'm understanding is, like, working in the dark magic, it's coming from their sacral chakra. So the sacral chakra, let's say, is red, right? So they took all of the red, all of the creative energy, all of the, you know, the color, you know, that comes with that part of their body, right? That chakra. They took that and they darkened it. They took that and they darkened it. And the Central Intelligence Agency knows, like, what I'm getting here is, like, when they would chant and do all of these different things, and it's like, it went, look at that. That's that spiral I was talking about. OMG. So if you take dark energy in your sacral chakra to this thing keeps zooming in your sacral chakra to create something that is dark and dirty and masked and, like, all of this, it's going to come out. What I'm understanding is some of these people are even talking about, like, they're speaking it out now at this point about what they did. Because it's coming out, like, it's spiraling out of them. These people may be even angry. Well, I don't care that I did this to collect. Well, so what? Like, that's their energy right now. It's just, again, if you take your sacral chakra and you want to create something dark out of yourself, what are you putting into it? Darkness. You're replacing your sacral chakra energy with darkness. Yeah. Wow. Somebody was trying to stop your process. Well, we know that already. Your abundance planning. But you already wrote these things down. Like, these are a lot of these things are things you already manifested, and you're in that set it and forget it thing. So the things that you're receiving now that you've been aligning yourself with, that you've, like, it's like a crock pot. You set it and forget it. That's what's happening with them. Yep. Because this is what I saw. This is what I saw in reverse. Spend some time with animals. So these people never got in touch with nature. They never, you know, their ships are not coming in. Like, and if their ships are coming in, it's coming in with, like, animal attacks, you know, the exact opposite, you know, where they attacked and tortured or manipulated animals, like used animals as their familiars to spy on you and everything else. These animals are now turning on them. Like, the natural world, the natural world has left them, and they're sitting there. This is their suitcase. They're locked in that suitcase, which is, by the way, they can't, like, if the bag is here and the train is gone, that's what I'm understanding. Like the opportunity for them to change, and move on is gone. They will have to be at this slow and steady. They don't have a choice to speed up their process. They had that choice, but they chose to manipulate their own energy and align themselves with things. They vowed to do this. They vowed to manipulate their energy and use their sacral chakra, their heart chakra, their crown chakra. They vowed to use their energy in the wrong way. There was something out here about chanting. I saw that too. There's something here about chanting. Ooh, maybe even around your home, like the things that they chanted around your home. It created it for them. Like, I can't express that enough. Yeah, they weren't following their intuition. They never, again, they were focused on your intuition, what you knew, what you could figure out, what you could find out. And so it caused them to never focus on that for themselves. And they have no intuition now. They have no intuition. They're just stuck. They're just stuck right now. They're stuck right now. Trying to figure out. And this came out. Yeah. They're stuck right now trying to figure out how to nourish their temple. This could be a mother. This could be someone that you mothered, that you took care of. Yeah. They're also being faced with a lot of like phobias and fears. So all of these, things like, oh, you better cook, black-eyed peas on the New Year's. Oh, you better, like, they are racing. Like, what I'm understanding is somebody can't even afford the bag of black-eyed peas. Okay, it's that type of energy. Their phobias are taking over them, and it's for them to learn certain lessons and understand certain things. Wow. They are really trying to get it out the mud right now. Yeah, someone's being told to listen. Someone's guides told them, okay, you need to use your hands and go make a meal. Have faith. I feel like somebody's guides have totally left them, and they're like, yeah, go ahead and make that meal. And they're like, but I can't even afford the black-eyed peas. Yeah, go ahead. Have faith in what you are doing. This is your dream come true, the moment and the opportunity. You wanted to be the collective. Now you get to do what the collective did. I don't understand. They thought that they were going to jump in, But they never, again, these people didn't have the wisdom and knowledge. They never understood that it's like, no, you're going to watch the collective do something, and then you're going to have faith that you can get in there and do it yourself. Ugh. I don't understand why they didn't see that being dark and manipulative would tie them into that energy. Like, if you're connected with the devil and you see the devil as this and you see the devil as that, why did they think that this wouldn't be their, like, why didn't they think that the devil would be tricking them? They thought the devil was just like their bestie? To an extent. Ooh, yeah. So this is a tree here, and it's on the side. Yeah. This person is having to figure out how to make things grow, like how to make things pop for themselves, This person is sitting there trying to figure out, like, how do I do this? How do I do this? What I'm understanding too is like this person is being told to look out for the Fae. So the Fae is coming in this instance, and just like I know, collective, if you've ever dealt with the Fae, it's a real dealing. Ooh, the fucking with the Fae is no joke. I mean, I don't know if they worked with someone who was connected with Fae and sent that to you, but the Fae is after them. You guys understand what that means? Like, if you've ever had to encounter the Fae, if you've ever had to encounter fairies. Yeah, so what I'm understanding is essentially where they're going to be living at, whomever they're going to be living with. Those individuals are are connected to the fae. Okay, connected to fairies. Okay, and it takes a lot to live under the roof with other people and meditate like this. Like there's absolutely, like, it's so hard. Like it is so hard. They're going to have to listen to a lot of what I'm understanding is sound healing. They're going to have to listen to a lot of stuff. Like they're maybe even, what their challenge is right now is really digging into their faith that this can actually heal them. Listen to the different vibrations, listening to, some type of sound baths, Reiki healing. This is their suffering right now. They're suffering in this community living type of energy. Yep. And none of their magic will work. No, there's no burning bowl ritual that they can do to assist them in this. Wow. And what they need to caution themselves is to not be focused. Like, again, their issue is focusing on you in this Phoenix rising energy. They should not focus on you is what I'm understanding. Like as soon as they focus on you, it's going to cause a problem. As soon as they focus on you, they're going to get information about bad health. Damn. I'm cracking up at how this screen is moving right now. Yeah. It's something about them being able to connect with nature. But again, when they get out into nature, they're going to see signs of the fae. They need to watch their steps is what I'm understanding. Because you step into a fae circle, like a circle of mushrooms and, all these things. Listen, this person may have recently even seen something like that. There's something here about, too, like ancient civilizations and the arts. Greco, like, ooh, yep. That's something else that they need to dig into, like what, and maybe find their own Akashic records and understand how that, someone's hoping that their person that they were with, oh damn. Someone was hoping too that someone else would, like that maybe they had a relationship that they were in, that person would, walk through this tunnel with them, but they're going this alone. They're going to have to go this alone and like call on like the earthly healing. Some people don't believe in crystals. It's like they're being called, and what I'm understanding is because of their betrayal against the universe and how things were planned, they have to, figure this out on their own. Yeah, they are going to have to figure out how to unleash their creativity, and they pretty much darkened it up. They muddied it up. And what I'm understanding is like technology is working against them at this point. Like, especially with everything changing with technology and how people, how money's going to be utilized in the future and how it's going to be, distributed and things like that. Dang. Yeah. Ooh, yeah. Like they are, wherever this person is moving to or has moved to is what I'm understanding. Wherever they've moved to or have moved to, they're going to have to learn how to flow with this negative energy that they're going to be staying around. Yeah, this cycle is going to require a lot of patience that this person doesn't seem to have. And I only say that because like they're being eaten up from the inside out. Again, we saw that spiral that I spoke about, right? That goes, and it's basically coming from their sacral chakra because they can't figure out what to do. And this is the time for them to do that. Like they can't figure out, like what I'm understanding is they can't figure out what to do to heal themselves, and they have all the information right there, but it's like even with the information, figuring out how to do it is a totally different thing, right? Figuring out how to have faith in that. Oh, that's what I was talking about with faith. Okay. So my grandmother and I used to talk on the phone all the time. And I've probably said this several times. You have the right to be excited about what's happening as a collective. Don't feel like this ain't your fault, right? But anyway, we were talking one morning and in my spiritual battle, and people were attacking my finances. People, and it's like people were doing things, not just spiritually, but they were doing things in the physical world, you know, making false claims to the police and stuff like that, you know, that caused me to lose my position within an organization that I was working with just because they filed the police report. The police officer came to me, I gave him all the information, showed all of my proof, and he dropped it. But by that point, I was already let go. So that may be something this person is experiencing too. It's like before they can even get a chance to get it off the ground, they're going to be met with this energy. But my grandmother at that time was like, well, what are you doing to, you know, make ends meet? How are you, you know, surviving? And I said, faith. And she said, what? And I said, faith. Now, I had forgotten that like one of her best friends named Faith had passed away. And I feel like my grandmother took it as a sign that like her friend saw something on the other side that she needed to be aware of, you know, because why would your friend be with me in the afterlife? Why would your friend be here with me? You know, I think that's something that my grandmother realized too. So this is another part of this person's struggle. When it's a yes, nothing can stop me. When I'm unsure, it's always a no. So this person has no instinct. I said that already, right? They weren't following their own instinct. They were following, like trying to figure out what your instincts were. So this person doesn't have their instincts. That's what's making their road a lot more difficult right now. They don't have any instinct. They don't, you know. Ooh, yeah, they didn't acknowledge apprehension. Like they weren't acknowledging previously why they would get messages, why they would get signs to say to stop, don't do this, this is wrong, you're doing the wrong thing. They didn't take heed to that. So when you don't take heed to your intuition or your instinct, it leaves you, right? You have no connection to it. They align themselves with going along with what everybody else would say and do. Wow. This person is trying really hard to allow themselves to receive all the fulfillment that they're willing to give. So again, they're going to be in this energy of like working, not, you know, this is their spiritual work, Central Intelligence Agency, IRS. They are trying to allow themselves to receive fulfillment, and they have to be willing to give. They're having trouble with this. This may be a feminine energy because this kind of looks like the embryos, like whatever that is there. Damn. Yeah. They're having to accept too, or look at the fact that like loss is my reminder that more room has been made for greater gifts to be received. None of this talks about the present. Yeah. Because they have to remain consistent. Damn. Oh, damn. These two came out in reverse. Oh, no, they came out in the upright. Damn. Yeah, they're having to unravel codependency, too, and see where they were codependent. So they only have to feel good about their choices. And again, if they've mucked up their sacral chakra and it's full of dark energy, that's hard to see. Like, it's hard to see the light that's within them. That's what they're, again. And then this fae and whoever else is living around them is going to cause more difficulties for them. Damn. They may have even thought that like this was a fresh start. Israel. That's probably how this person feels right now, like screaming, like, or they may be dealing with someone having that behavior towards them. Because I'm telling you, when you mess with this fae energy, it's no joke. It's no joke. All right. Well, damn. Yeah, this person is going to I don't know if their parent is still alive or they have to disconnect from their parent, but they're going to have to love and mother themselves. They're going through a lot. This sounds like a damn. I just keep hearing the song Total Eclipse of the Sun. Boom. Excuse me. Like there's no sun in their life anymore. There's nothing bringing them any hope. Like that light, they have to search for it within themselves. And if they've filled themselves with dark energy and dark desires and dark, you know, spell work and stuff like that, that's going to be hard to find. So what I'm understanding is that this next full moon coming, I'm trying to cover her up. I thought I got all the cards, but that's what this marker is. I was trying to clean up my cards, but I don't know if this person is attempting to do something on the next full moon or did something on the last full moon, but whatever they worked at, it won't pay off. Like whatever they do, you know. And what I'm understanding is even if they are on the right path, it's not going to look like, you know, they're going to be like, well, I got these crystals and I went to the water and I did this and I did that. It's about changing their actual way of looking at things in life. It's about changing and not caring if this is their circumstance, but just continuing to press forward. Listen, I have to feel good about my choices. They don't feel good about their choices. They know they should continue moving forward on this, but because what I'm understanding is that the moment they turn back is the moment they turn out. Here's a sign. Like if they want to become a butterfly, you know, if you're looking for a sign, here it is. If you're looking for a sign, collective, that someone is struggling right now, where it's basically like the moment they turn back into this dark negative energy and stuff like that, and as long as they don't keep on their own spiritual path with eyes only set on the light that's within them, not the light that is within you, the moment they turn back, basically all these spells and rituals are going to overconsume them. Someone's going to have a problem. They are going to have a problem. Yeah. I'll take a few more of these decks really quick, but this sounds like a really miserable, unhappy, uncomfortable. It's like you ever be uncomfortable in your own skin, can't do what you want. Yeah, this is somebody that's fallen from grace. They're in that unknown. They're descending. Like this person is falling. Momentum is picking up too, and these changes are coming in. And it's again, they have to belong to their own dream, create their own life. That's where they're struggling. Like I said from the gate. Yeah. Yeah. They felt like, you know, they had to be, again, I said it's like they have to get into this independent versus codependent. They felt like, well, as long as I got everybody on my team, you know, all must have prizes. So as long as we work together, you know, as long as I align myself with this group of people, as long as I can get all these people to believe what I'm talking about, what I'm saying. Yeah, this person wanted to be queen so bad, and they are falling. Yeah. This person is living in a lot of fear right now. They have a lot of fear surrounding them about growing up. I said that at the beginning, right? I said in the beginning, like about kids playing games. Yeah, this is their moment for them to wake up and grow up. Again, it's they came out like love and mother yourself. This person is going to have to, you know, but I'm hearing like this person is so focused on keeping up appearances, keeping up with other people, keeping up with this, keeping up with that. Damn. I told y'all, look, follow the right rabbit. Curiosity meets opportunity. So as long as they keep forward, no problem, right? They'll start their healing. You know, they'll get their healing when the divine sees fit, right? And every time they do this and they keep the positive mindset despite of what it looks like, every time they do that, they'll be allowed to kind of feel a little bit more peace, because whoever this is not at peace with anything or anyone. But that's what they created, chaos. But if as soon as this person turns like back to being dark, that's all I can call it at this point. Life is brief. As long as they're not living their life for them, as soon as they turn around from living for themselves, for their own healing. Yeah. As soon as they turn back around, they get their mortality is going to be faced. That's a skull this person has. It's like as soon as they turn back around, they'll become skull and bones. Skull and bones. Law is not justice, right? And I'm curious about that too. Law is not justice. Their fate is after this person. Look at these little mushrooms. The fate is after this person. This person basically, whatever they thought was ruling, whatever they thought was in control. And let's just be honest. This is the devil's world. This is not the man's world. This is the devil's world, right? But the law here is not justice, right? And because of that, there are rules that are not fair. The rule is, when you dance with the devil, you might get, it's about all of those choices they make. They feel blocked, restrained. When you dance with the devil may step on your toes. The devil may forget to hold you up in a dip. You may go and run and jump into the devil's arms, and they totally turn their back. Like that's what's happening. This person is having to be braver right now. And there's a lot of uncertainty because they too very well know that any moment that they turn around and start to go back in that negative direction, it's over. It's lights out. There's something about having to believe that they're free from the devil, but as long as, like, if you believe that you're free from the devil, right? And you can visualize your success, then you will be, right? But as soon as you feel like it's too hard, I can't do it, nothing is happening, nothing is changing, that's when it changes. That's when it goes. Dang. Yeah, they're going to have to work really hard. And again, if they don't, the moment they turn around, everything changes. Told you there's something to do with this person's chakras being, they ain't even chakra-y. I'm just saying, it's like all full of darkness. They chose to use all their sacral chakra, all their heart chakra, all their, all their chakras is what I'm understanding. They used every single chakra that they could. Everybody that they were working with was doing the same thing. And now they're at that base chakra. And like I said, it's that spiraling up that we saw. It's that spiraling up. I know what I'm talking about. Just an FYI, yeah. Yeah, they're going to have to learn how to choose their words right, to speak of it in a positive way, even if it isn't a positive. Because that's why would you have to choose only positive thoughts to describe your home, career, and finances as your words determine your outcome? So the outcome that they have right now, the reality that they have right now, doesn't actually show them what, like I said, they have no money. This person is having to move into with someone. Yeah, they need to clear their mind and forgive. Like, even if they feel like somebody did an injustice against them, they have to clear that out. They have to clear through that. They have to bring themselves peace. Yeah, this person is not an indigo child. This person is not a natural born leader. Like, this being in this direction, in this type of energy is not, ooh, dang. Their heart chakra doesn't even resonate with that. Their heart chakra doesn't even resonate with that. Because of all the things that they spoke out of their throat chakra. Damn. Yeah. Internal Revenue Service, because I kept the whole word service I kept focusing on that. And that's like, if you get nervous, focus on service. Put your entire intention on answering the question, how can I make the world a better place? And the law of attraction will automatically take care of your needs. This person is being their internal revenue, like their whole existence, everything that they do, every motivation, every movement that they make has to be focused on in providing to others in a place where they don't have. That's what's happening. Like when they get nervous and they're not seeing things are going bad and this and that and this and that, they're going to have to choose positive thoughts to describe, positive thoughts and words to describe, like, okay, even though, these people are arguing and screaming and fussing and fighting, at least it's not with me. That's the energy they're going to have to be in, like whatever is happening around them. Like, okay, even though somebody stole my bike, and I'm just saying this, even if somebody stole my bike, maybe I need to exercise more. Maybe I need to get up earlier. Maybe there's something that's calling me to be getting up earlier. Yeah, there's something to do with like a past life. So a past life issue could have just been a situation. There was something there was a download that I got about past life issues. So past life issues, like you have no karma to clear. You're just supposed to be, free to go and, move forward. And if things that are similar come up in this lifetime, you are supposed to be able to remember, release, and learn and heal from whatever that is. There's something to do here about this person's, like the life that they're trying to leave behind. So that's the past life, right? There's an issue there with them being able to forgive. That's why they are not in this high priestess energy. That's why they will not make it to that. I'm just being honest. Chances are this type of person, because they are so dark, because they are so full of malice and, negative intent for others and, all that stuff, because of that, they are, remember how I said, like, I can't even say somebody was lying about having, what is it? COVID-19. Otherwise, I'll end up with COVID-19. That's where this person is on this journey. It's like as soon as they curve their lips, as soon as they curve their thoughts to go into that demonic energy, that go into that negative energy, it is going to ream them a new booty hole. I'm just saying. Or completely in them. Yeah. They have to be careful about like what energy they hold and what they take action on at this time. Damn. Because they don't have the instinct and intuition. I put that over that high priestess. Because they don't have that instinct and intuition anymore. Oh my gosh. And again, I just saw the Empress card again. If they focus on the Empress's energy, their creativity, and all of this other stuff, essentially, as soon as they focus on you, that's going to cause them to revert to a different way of thinking because they're jealous, because they're envious, because they're this. Now, mind you, if this person can look at you, collective, in your Empress energy, enjoying their life, having great things, and they can be happy for you, then that will help them through this. If they turn and they look at you and they're disgusted at what they're seeing because it's not them, that's when they end up in this mortality energy. Yeah, they're going to have to try to remain balanced. Anything else? Last few words. Final respects. Yeah. This person has never been in this nurturing energy. Mostly of themselves, because this is coming right over here by these womb cards, which to me it means like this mothering themselves, nurturing themselves, aspiring, right? Having their own endeavors and things like that. That's the biggest part of it at this point. They have to get out of this Queen of Cups in reverse. Yeah. They have to, again, someone is working on trying to bring themselves peace and joy and, put an end to who they used to be. And what I'm understanding is if they can't put an end to who they used to be, they will be put to an end. Damn. If they can't put an end to who they used to be, they will be put to an end. That's got to be something. That's got to be something real heavy. If they can't put an end to who they used to be, they are going to be put to an end. And that's just it, and that's just all. Damn. They may even be confused why, like, the judgment is so strong. Well, how many opportunities did you have to not be in the energy that you're in? How many opportunities did you have to listen? Again, there's no... They used up all their options, is what I'm being told to say. Them and anybody in this city, in these city states, whatever groups, communities, etc. They are basically, the reason why they're facing or they're in this desolation right now is because they're under judgment. Clearly, right? And if they get confused along this path, they don't have a path anymore. Like, these people really are going to have to be content with their desolation, with the things that they, you know, with the clearing of their own energy. Yeah. And what I understand, like, as a part of the struggle is because this desolation conflicts them internally. Like, this desolation, it keeps them very conflicted, right? If you are sitting out here trying to get out of desolation and, you know, you can't even buy the black eyed peas and you're struggling with that because you're restricted and confused and you're powerlessness and you don't, you know, you're very indecisive because you no longer have instinct and intuition that you can follow. They gave that away when they started following other people. They gave that away when they started following what the collective was doing in the wrong way, like following it not, you know, according to their own heart. Because again, these people's heart didn't exist. These people didn't have heart. I said that, I think, earlier too. You know, they were inspired to do things, you know, and use their artistic skills and creativity and their, you know, heart chakra and their sacral chakra and their, you know, base chakra and their, all of that, crown chakra. They were inspired to do that, to use it for conflict. They've aligned themselves with that now. You know, the moment they go back is the moment they're taken out. All right, let me see if I'll get one more. Yeah, they're going to struggle quite a bit on this journey. They're going to have to see the beauty of their journey. They're going to have to see the beauty in desolation. They're going to have to see the beauty in, you know, whoever has to leave their side, because we spoke about that too. They're going to have to see the beauty in being able to do the journey alone. Again, it's that codependency that they're having to face at this point. Yeah. Yeah, all I can say is it's saying, you know, for this person to try to have strength, you know, during this time of despair. You know, for them to try to have strength during this period of despair, you know, they regret it, as they should, though, is what I'm understanding, as they should. But on the other side of things, like, if they never unified with that negative energy, you know, if they would have been prudent about, you know, taking a lighter path, not living in this darkness, like, then they would have been in union with their highest self, you know, and they wouldn't be where they're at right now, you know. Yeah. It's like they have two paths. Let me show you what I'm seeing here. They have two paths right now. If this person can walk out of this darkness to get to this Nine of Pentacles, if they can be prudent about that, their instability, if they can be strong during that process, their instability will change, right? They'll become more content, right? And they could have the potential of completing their path, right? And not face any delays, but they will be delayed if they can't remain balanced in constructing, which I understand is like the moment they turn ratchet with you is a moment, you know, because you don't have anything to do with their journey. That's what maybe they regret, you know, forgetting that. They have an option to have unity with their highest selves, and they can move forward in that, but they need to be careful that what they're manifesting is their endeavor, like that it's in order with, you know, I heard the Supreme, like God, you know, that's focused on their well-being, not focused on the well-being of the collective. Again, yeah, this person has a lot of going within to do. They're going to have to be really prudent, like, and focused on that higher road, that lighter road. And I'm hearing this instability. It may plague them for 8 years. Oh, yeah. Let me show you what I'm seeing here. Oh, yeah. To, like, get this satisfaction and to get this satisfaction and this peace that they're trying to get. Yeah, through this transformation, to receive any love, like, and to put it into the delays that they're going to be feeling. Yeah. I keep hearing oh gosh. Their peace will be delayed. If they want satisfaction, if they want love, if they want this, if they want that, they're going to have to be prudent through this instability until they become content. And as soon as they get confused, because that's the Seven of Cups again, as soon as they get confused and turn off their path, you know, forget their own well-being. As soon as they do that, it ends for them. That's what desolation means, right? There's nothing left of them. They will not exist. They will perish. They will perish. They will perish. This sounds familiar, huh, collective? This sounds real familiar, doesn't it, collective? You know, this sounds real familiar. This sounds like what you already experienced, but like you're on the other side of it already, right? You're in this inspired energy, right? You're inspiring others. That's all you're really doing right now through this message too. But as soon as they get confused, the end. There's no more chances. This person sees where they're supposed to be going. This person sees where they are. If they don't get on this road, despite any instabilities, that 9th year, I don't even understand that they have that 9th year. Do they have that 9th year? Like, are they allowed to falter throughout the next 8 years and just not have anything to, you know, what are they? Oh, damn. Nope. Nope. As soon as they give it into that instability energy, it's over. It's over. Life as they know it will have ended. Not another breath. Damn. Damn. I'm seeing this fire here is this fire there. As soon as they start to go towards you and this high priestess energy or high priest energy, as soon as they start to get in this demonic energy, again, I cannot make this up. I've never seen this on this card like this before. But as soon as they let their instability get to them and they say, oh, I want to take this from the collective. I want to do this against the collective. I want to, and turn their energy back towards dark. That's when that fire's, listen, because this person is coming straight towards, this person is trying to get this person. As soon as they give into that instability, that feeling of lack, that feeling of, you know, not having, you know, as soon as they don't act in their own power and strength, not to come towards you, right? Because that's demonic, right? As long as they remain content through all of those emotions and they learn how to work through that, they'll be fine. But the moment that they turn from that, it's over. The moment that they turn from that, it's over for them. Their well-being is going to be like done. And the devil is just salivating, waiting. Because again, the devil knows, like I said, this is the devil's world. The devil knows that they have control over this. The devil's just kind of waiting too, along the whole path. Damn. It's just salivating, like, watch. It's almost like the devil is keeping their eyes here on you because they know they can't touch you, right? But they're like, as soon as this person moves an inch towards the collective, I get to have them. Wow. Damn. Yeah. I'm understanding too, like this ending of their life is, you know, it's justice. You know, it's justice being served. You know, because if they refuse to grow, if they refuse to heal, you know, knowing that that energy leads to a higher position and a higher place, like if they complete the adapting to this, then they get there. If they don't, and they start back towards the collective, booyah. Dang. Okay, collective. I hope that this has been helpful, insightful in some way, shape, or form. This is not a warning. This is a reality. This is not a warning for this person. This is a reality. They are already here. Okay. They need to bring it back down. Okay. Avoid getting caught up and staying on this road, on this path. Damn. I can't even help no more. There's nothing else that I can actually say to help this person. I don't feel like there's anything that anybody can say to help this person. They have to figure out the reason that this is happening for themselves. You know? But I was looking to try to find an 8 for them. Like I was looking to try to find something to like help them. But what I'm understanding is like that's just not an option. Oh, damn. It's just not an option. Because I was looking between here and there, and I was like, okay, so do they get like two opportunities? Because I'm looking at 7 and 9. Like, do they get two opportunities to, like fall off and then, put themselves back on their path? It's like, no. As soon as they step into this 7 of Cups energy and get confused about their path, that's it. This 7 and 3, 10. That's what I was looking at. Damn. It's like they bump it up a notch in your direction. As soon as they start to reach out, here we go. Damn. Yeah, they're going to really have to try to find like some type of like, well, like being excited about being on their own path. Like, well, at least now I know which way to go. Like, that's the energy. Like, you know what that feels like, collective, right? Coming to a realization, like being comfortable and content with like, okay, at least I know I'm heading in the right direction and I'm removing the people, places, and things that I should be from my life so that I can actually complete this cycle. So anyway, I hope this has been insightful. Oh my goodness. Yeah. All right. I hope this has been insightful in some way, shape, or form, and I'll catch you on the next one. Later.